Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm so excited about today's guest. He's been on the show before, but it's been quite a while. He has a wealth of knowledge. His name's Dr. Leonard Coldwell. Dr. Coldwell, welcome to the show. Welcome back.
Paul, thank you so much. I think it's 20 years ago when we spoke last.
Yes, yes. And the information you were given back then was groundbreaking information about how cancer has affected your family and how you've learned to help people with cancer. Now, here we are 20 years later. I'd like to hear about some of your testimonials, some of your new discoveries, and more important, you. How have you been and how are you doing?
First of all, we have completely changed the direction in Europe because many of you guys know or hear I'm originally from Germany. And I founded my own country. The Champion Nation is worldwide accepted. It's installed the same way every other country is founded in this world, in the International Post Office in Switzerland. And so we have the Champion Nation to be completely off every form of restriction laws. And so it's going now really well. We have 196,000 members. And we are starting in the US in about March, April, and giving people all the information. I put together all the information I ever had. I had 1.3 billion views on my cancer videos everywhere on social media. Now we have over 4.7 billion. And so it's everything changed. The numbers changed. The excitement changed. The attacks never changed. I had now 9 attacks on my life, hundreds of threatening phone calls a day, but you're pretty much used to that too, I guess. And but on the other hand, I got a lot stronger. I got a lot nicer. I was very aggressive 20 years ago because when you do something like I did, taking away the $300 billion cancer industry's money away, they don't really like you a lot. So I'm basically, what I'm doing is basically giving everything away for free. I have the Cancer Patient Advocate Foundation. I poured $47 million in myself. We don't take donations. I finance it all myself. We don't want anybody else to have any influence on the foundation. We're helping cancer patients for free with free information. We don't do treatments because I invented the IBMS system, the instinct-based medicine system. And the IBMS system is the most effective system worldwide for autoimmune disease because it's a science of identifying and eliminating the root cause of any negative result in a human's life. Doesn't matter if you have cancer of the wallet, cancer in a relationship, cancer in your body, cancer in your career, it's all the same thing. It is somewhere in us. It's like Paul introduced me to what healthy food or natural food really means, what raw food really means about 20 years ago. I'm sending everybody to his books. And it was the first time when I talked to Paul that we were talking about the raw food diet, and I was fascinated by it. Helped me to lose 70 pounds after that. And but my entire life, I was really after helping cancer patients because I just give you a short summary to the ones that don't know my history. When I was a young kid, my mom developed hepatitis C, liver cirrhosis, liver cancer in a terminal state, fatty liver, 6 months to live prognosis 48 years ago. And all 7 siblings of my mom had cancer. All 68 cousins of mine or great cousins died of cancer. All 4 grandparents of mine died of cancer. My father died of cancer, and so on. So basically, I had to do something, and I did. I cured my sister from cervical cancer when she was really young. I don't really remember, 17, 18 years old. And with Dr. Tullio Simoncini's technique. He wrote a great book, Cancer as a Fungus. Guys, you need to read it. It's now, I think, 20, 30 years old. But he cured provenly in Rome, Italy, in his hospital, 800,000 cancer patients with sodium bicarbonate. And so basically, I found a way after everybody said there is no way your mother can get better. Nobody ever recovered from a terminal state of liver cancer and so on. And I thought there is no way. God doesn't allow that. There's no way that God gives us a challenge that we can't. There's no solution for. That wouldn't make sense because, out of my viewpoint, the only reason for living is personal growth and development. And that's why we are here, to develop, to grow. And if there's no solution, we cannot grow. That makes no sense. So I made a deal with God and I said, God, listen, if you help me to cure my mom from liver cancer, I'm going to spend the rest of my life prevent other parents and their children to have to go through what my mom had to go through. Long story very short, my mom lived 48 years after that, completely healthy, completely pain-free. She died last year of old age, and it was
Wow.
fine. It's not.
How old was she?
She was 96,
Wow.
and so the interesting thing really is that my mom was very well known because she was in a hotel restaurant business. She had all these little beer pubs and things like that. So people knew her. And believe it or not, my career started just from the guests of my mom in her coffee houses and beer pubs, seeing my mom dying and with all the black, dark rings under her eyes, blowing up, big stomach from the liver, and then getting better and better and better. And everybody says, what in the world did you do? And so the word got out. And as a young child, between 16 and 18, I already cured the entire neighborhood, the parents of my friends and everybody that came into the pub from all kind of things. And the interesting thing is I really found out you're the only one that can make you sick and you're the only one that can cure yourself. Nobody else cures anybody else. And this is what I found out with doing this, what I'm doing for 52 years. And if you do something for more than half of a century, you kind of like know a lot. And most of all, you know a lot that you didn't know 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And that makes you humble because from the arrogance and I can cure cancer in 6 weeks, which I easily thought I could. The cancer patients get healthy within 12 days to 6 weeks, but it's not me. It's them.
Say that again. So,
And just a
wait,
coach.
people, I don't want people to miss that. So, you have done work like the answer to cancer and all of this, and what is it, 12, 6, how long a time? I know it's different for everyone depending how long they've been suffering from whatever they're suffering from, but let's use cancer because that's the highest one here, so or most popular one. So how long what's the process, Dr. Coldwell? So somebody contacts you and you still do tele conferences. You're semi-retired, but you do conferences still via the internet.
Yes, Paul.
So somebody contacts you and they say, I've been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. The doctors are telling me this, or the doctors tried this, it's not working. What do I do? So, what's the first steps you would tell people? And I know it's based on their particular situation, but in general, like you started out with your mom who was sick, you got her better, and then you helped other people, you helped them help themselves get better.
Yeah.
What do you tell people that have no hope, they're lost, they have no knowledge? What do you tell them? How do you tell them to start out?
To get my book via download is the easiest and fastest, The Only Cancer Patient Cure. So my latest book that entails about 40 years of working with cancer patients is The Only Cancer Patient Cure, and I should have sent you one. I'm going to send you a link that you can download it after we are done with the interview, so that they have an idea, that they don't think I go out there with a scalpel and with all kind of chemo and radiation. I'm the opposite. I first of all, I have them read the book that they understand they have to do the job. If they are willing to do the job, if they do everything IBMS clients or patients need to do it themselves with me as a coach or the coaches I trained, the IBMS therapists I trained, then it's basically impossible to not get better. Of course, if you have too much damage, if you are pre-murdered by the medical profession, we don't deal with you. We can't.
Well,
We
how
don't
do
want
you determine that? How do you determine, to what degree a person has been damaged by the medical community? Do you run certain tests? Do you ask them questions? How do you determine that?
So if they have a full round of chemo, we don't take them. If they have a full round of radiation, we don't take them. If they have taken out more than 6 lymph nodes, we don't take them.
Okay, so that's important. So now I'm going to ask you about the people you do take, Dr. Coldwell. But what do you suggest to those people you don't take?
Basically, that's what my book is for. It's half of it because there's so many people after The Only Answer to Cancer. This book is still the most successful book out there. We sold 900 million copies, and Amazon is selling it like crazy. I don't get the money. I don't know who's printing it. Everybody tells me, "Oh, I read your book, The Only Answer to Cancer." I said, "Where in the world did you get it from?" "Oh, Amazon." I have no deals with Amazon. I don't know who prints it. I don't really care. If they get help, it's fine. But basically, the main thing for me is that people need to, when they read the book, they also see in the new book. In the old book, The Only Answer to Cancer, there is nothing for people that got all the treatment, because back then I was very angry of the. I wrote this about 30 years ago. I'm not sure, and so back then I was really upset with people not doing the research, just going into chemo, just going into radiation. So I thought the thought was wrong, but I thought if I hit them in the forehead and said, if you have chemo, radiation, or surgery, you die anyway, this book is not for you, go away. And I thought that makes them rethink, makes them research. But the bad thing was, what I didn't calculate back then, too many people already did it before they got their hands on the book. So, and I felt very, very bad about that. So in my latest book, The Only Cancer Patient Cure, I have a part for the people that already had done all the treatments, but we make no promises. We can help them. We can guarantee that we can help them to feel better, to get better, to maybe live longer than they would have lived without it. I all suggest your book, The Raw Food Diet, to everybody, because if the foundation is not there, if the cells are unhealthy, if their body is not alkaline, all of this cannot help. But even the ones that had the treatment, there's a lot of things that can help them with the pain, that can help them. I have an app, actually, I completely forgot about that, um, uh, that has the 3 basic IBMS sessions, which I invented back then for a NASA specialist. I invented music that the astronauts can listen to in space. And it's called a musical shower. You feel the music in your body. And the first 5 minutes, it's a 20-minute session each. And the first 5 minutes, you feel the body tingling, you feel the body normally, the body getting relaxed. And then there's some suggestions of mine in I form, because I'm not doing anything for you. You need to do it. You need to see yourself healthy. You need to feel how you get better, because the emotion that I give you through the session is the fuel of making you better, because you need to feel it. You need to feel strong. I mean, Paul, you have been very, very sick and you got better, and you didn't get better by just doing nothing. And it's an emotional part. Of course, it's a diet part, but the most important part is really that you believe in yourself. I do not believe that God created something, or the nature or universe. I don't want to make it in a religious way, because it's all the same energy. Some call it the universe, some call it God. To me, in my experience, it's all the same thing. It's the power of life, the power of who we are, of our soul. Because I believe our soul the um, is basically the part of God in us, talking to us. That's why my system is called instinct-based medicine system, because I believe that our instinct is God talking to us. I might be wrong, but for 52 years now, it works for me and my patients.
The
But
problem is, people say God's talking to them, and clearly they're not following from a health standpoint. I won't judge their spiritual life, but from a health standpoint, they're clearly not following and eating God's food. So,
Yes.
so yeah, you've hit it on. You got it. You understand, and it's go ahead, continue telling everybody about this because the feelings, the food, uh, the things you've mentioned 20 years ago that you've applied to people like your mom,
Yeah.
it works. That's why I have you on my show. I'm not, uh, I want people that have success, and I know you've had success, and I know the stuff you're doing works.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
so I want people to know that the people that are watching that they have a relative that has cancer and understand everybody. I have close relatives that Dr. Colbert, I know you don't know this, but they wouldn't listen to me and they ended up uh, succumbing to cancer and other things. So just because you have the information, everybody, it doesn't mean your loved ones are going to listen. But to give them the information is better
They're
than
the
not
last
having
ones
it.
listening, Paul.
Yeah. What did you say?
They're the last ones listening, your
Yeah.
relative.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But folks, listen to this man's information. It works. It works. So continue, Dr. Coleman.
So we have now proven, I have proven, cured 66,000 patients with autoimmune diseases, 35,000. It's all proven. I have a proven cancer patient cure rate of 92.3% is proven by 4 different studies in Europe. And the people need to understand we have 1.9 million testimonials on the internet where people spoke testimonials on video, just downloaded it, which I didn't even know. If you go, if you say, oh, this guy who knows what he's talking about, go to 50yearsdrc.com and you see what I did the last 50 years. And I was already out there before most of these people with these big mouths were even born. And I always loved Paul. He was always understanding and accepting, and he didn't judge. And that's why I love Paul's books also. There is no judgment, really. There's just helpful information. So basically, what people need, my very first question to my cancer patient is, why did you give yourself cancer? And then they explode. I would never give myself cancer. How dare you? And after 20 minutes, they exactly tell me why they have cancer. Oh, yeah, my husband suppresses me all the time. He beats me when he is drunk. My children are so mean to me, and so on. They explain to me exactly why they gave themselves cancer or allowed themselves to get cancer. Because nature is perfect. We are perfect. We don't need an outside injection to get rid of something that the body created. So if the body created it, the body can get rid of it. Our immune system is stronger than any medication in the world. And I have proven this now for 52 years. And I have 25 mega best-selling books, 20 in 29 languages. I wrote 107 books altogether. So 2 new ones will come out for 911 first responders, stress reduction and help for 911 first responders. And then there will be a book coming out that will get me in more trouble, but I'm
So,
old enough now.
how many books did you write?
I wrote 107 books, and 25 are mega bestsellers that in up to 29 languages.
Yeah. So here's the thing, everybody. I don't know if you missed it, but it's so important. If your body created it, your body can heal it. That's that's everything that Dr. Leonard Caldwell is teaching and showing, and that's the essence of everything. If your body created it, your body can heal it. The body is created and designed to deal with so much, but if you give it too much, it's going to suffer. But when you eliminating the things that are creating too much, it gets well again. And there are even things that could help you get well again, like herbs that are created as well. But once you go the medical route, you're going beyond the body's capability because you're destroying your organs and your body and you're producing disease. But even then, the body has the power to heal, just depending how much damage you did. It will depend if you can overcome that. But understand there's no doctor, there's no medicine, there's nothing that's better than the power that you were born with of your own body. So this is
That's the main point for
yeah,
our listeners to understand. No matter where you are, it's your fault. And I don't mean fault in being guilty, because we make the mistakes not knowing that it's a mistake, otherwise we wouldn't do it. But in my perspective, you need to do the research first before you do something. The body is unable to deal with chemicals. If it's artificially created, the body stores it somewhere and then they call it calcium deposits in the muscles. No, it's the stuff you took from the chemical companies. And this is basically the everything is natural. I tell my patients, as long as I work with patients for over 50 years now, I tell my patients, if it didn't exist in medicine 200 years ago, you do not need it and you do not want it today. We have in Germany, as you know, Paul, 3,000 years of natural health, natural treatments. And the first 2,000 years, the doctors in Europe, mainly in Germany, were all naturopaths, basically. There was this knowledgeable woman that went into the woods and cut it up here and there. You just need to be careful with supplements. If they are too highly processed, they might do the opposite. And if they come from China, they will do the opposite of what you try. There is no supplement that comes out of China that is safe and effective. It's not possible. And I can explain this, but in my newest book, it's coming in about 3 months. It will be out there.
now
And
yeah. What with your tell me about some of your testimonials. What are some of the worst cases you've seen that, or the most challenging cases you have had? And and again, your success rate of helping people, you said, is what 93,
92%.
92%. That means not everyone is. It's not a panacea here, folks. It's reality. But tell us about some of the amazing testimonials that you've experienced.
So first of all, I have a lot of unbelievable testimonials on my one of my websites, and the Dr. Leonard Coldwell, drspelledout.com can lead you there. There's about 100, 200 testimonials of things nobody would believe by the patients with me on stage in my seminars. So the most challenging was a little girl born with a hole in her throat, and they said she would never swallow, she will never speak. And I have her on stage when she was 6 years old, and I asked her if she can speak and swallow and eat, and you hear from her how well she speaks and how healthy she is. I have her on stage when he was 20 and when she was 28, completely healthy, working on for the German government and being very, very successful. Then I had a lady where her finger basically was cut off and they just wanted to take it off. They said it's just really hanging on the skin. And it's all on video, so it's not like, and you see these people are real and not actors, and they're 20, 30 years old videos where she did what I told her because she was a friend of my mom's, and she shows her hand, her finger, and everything is absolutely fine. And we have the doctor's names that treated her, things like that. So basically, everything can regrow. Your body did it once, in your mom's womb, so it can do it again, and it can basically get better um, in any situation. And so, but also I had cancer patients, I had world-class athletes, gold medal winners, all these kind of things. I wasn't really, because the IBMS system works in success, that I'm the highest paid motivational speaker. I'm the highest paid personal development trainer. Companies pay me 350,000 per weekend, like Deutsche Bank and IBM and things like that. So that's a reason they don't waste their money. The best testimony is to get a lot of money for the results you produce, because I don't produce talks, I don't produce seminars, I produce results. And results are the only thing that matters. So basically, of course, the biggest challenge was my mom with 4 deadly diseases at the same time. But on the other hand, I had so many people where the husband came into my office crying and said, my wife is out there, she's going to die, she has no chance. The doctors didn't give her any chance. And so basically, in one case, I had to have the woman come in, very beautiful woman, about 36-ish, her husband standing next to her, and I'm saying, so, okay, you're going to die now, and that's good. You're at the right age to die, because now your husband, you have this great company for producing alarm systems, and he's now getting an 18-year-old, so for him it's good enough, you're gone. And then the stepmother, of course, will treat your children like a stepmother treats her children. And Paula took me 10 minutes talking like this, and she said, what will he do? Who will he get? What will she do to my children? She walked out there stumping like a soldier, and she said, I'm not going to die. That's just it. Basically, I could have, to be honest, stopped there. She became a patient, and she's in my very, 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 very first cancer book. Uh, um, the pictures and the baby. She even got a baby after this. And all these people that believe they die because the medical profession tells them to die. No, they are not dying on cancer. They are dying on the amount of chemotherapy and radiation that they get, and how many lymph nodes are taken out, because the lymph nodes are your natural physical immune system. So if you take the immune system out when your body needs it the most, what do you expect? I became so angry and so successful because they murdered my grandmother, was taking out, I forgot, 18 or 28 lymph nodes in her breast. And after that, the arm swelled up and it didn't fit into the casket anymore, stuff like that. Horrible things. I've been through things nobody would even believe, except the people that know me. And so, but if you see one of the hundreds of videos and testimonials, I have people in a wheelchair with autism having cancer, getting rid of the autism, getting rid of the cancer, coming out of the wheelchair. But it's not a miracle cure. If you don't do it, if you don't answer my questions, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? And then do it. Most people don't even try. Sorry. But the main thing is, Paul, the medical voodoo priest tells them you have 3 months to live. How does this idiot know? Every medical doctor, no medical doctor, I challenge everybody. The first one that shows me that the medical doctor cured somebody from late stage cancer, he himself, I pay him $100,000. There's no medical doctor that ever cured anybody from anything, because you cannot cure somebody. You can help somebody to get cured. You put them on the right diet. You have them read the book, Dr. Bachman Gelich's book, The Body's Many Cries for Water. You have a gallon of water a day. You have pink salt in it. These kind of things. If you eat more living food, the body gets living. It's like you go on statin drugs, it shrinks your brain, because that's what your brain is, cholesterol. It's just unbelievable what people believe and let be done to them through the medical profession, because Dr. Gary Null, the great Dr. Gary Null, conducted a 7-year study, death by medicine, and he concluded that the medical doctor is the main cause of death in the Western world, and the pharmaceutical industry the main cause of illness or terminal illness in the Western world. It's free on the internet. So guys, just wake up. You cannot go to a doctor and say, give me the red or the blue pill. No, go in and say, please help me to cure myself. Help me to help myself. Okay, if I don't get cured, help me at least getting better, having more quality of life. And that's what, to answer your question, Paul, that's what we try to do for people that have all the medical treatment and all the surgeries and no quality of life. We try to give them as much quality of life and energy as possible that we can give them.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, I don't want people to misunderstand. Even though you've helped people with cancer, every illness out there that people are diagnosed with, your information will help them,
Yeah.
motivate them, inspire them, and also it works.
I want to not mislead people, because I want to make a very important statement first. I do not believe you need anything besides your brain. All we do to help cancer patients to cure themselves is their own brain. You need fuel. You can have the best car in the universe. If the fuel is bad, it will die. But what you need is, it's very simple for me. The IBMS system is identifying and eliminating the root cause of your disease. That means if you identify it, if you know your finger hurts, oh, my finger hurts. Yeah, why does your finger hurt? I don't know. Look at it. There's a splinter in it. What do I do now? Push it deeper in that I don't see it anymore? Medical profession? No, you grab it and pull it out. And now your finger heals. So that's what we do. We show you where the splinter is and how to pull it out. I give you all the mental and emotional tools to get out of the self-pity party with yourself, out of the, oh, poor me, and why did God do this to you? God doesn't do anything to, just believe me, he doesn't. And the only thing he does is helping you to help yourself. So that's kind of like, for me, very, very important. And people need to also understand, when I talk about God, I'm not talking about organized religion. I'm not a fan of organized religion. They have done enough bad stuff. So what I really am talking about is you, the unit, you being one with the universe, being one with the earth, being one with your own understanding of God. It doesn't matter how I think God is, it matters what you think God is. And now, what I do personally, you will find in all my mega best-selling books a goal-setting workshop. So people come to me and say, I have 6 weeks to live. So I say, okay, well, where do you want to do your vacation in 3 years? They stare at me like their eyes are start doing funny things. And they say, no, I have 6 months to live. I say, leave. If you have 6 months to live, why are you here? Why are you stealing my time? I don't have time for losers. I don't have time to, you mess up my statistics, my cure statistics. And they stare at me, and they stare at me. And then finally, somehow it sinks in, and they think, yeah, why do I have 6 months to live? Why do I even say that? So, and this is, Paul, how we start out. We get them, my sessions, there are 12 sessions. The IBMS system is 12 sessions. Actually 13. The first one is to find out if we can deal with each other, if we want to deal with each other. And then there are 12 sessions where I go through everything, making them understand how can somebody stop the blood flow. I have seen it. I've been in India, everywhere, where I've seen people get cut and stop the blood flow. I have seen people getting bit by poisonous snakes and having absolutely no reaction. I have seen in India people poking a needle through their cheek coming out here, and I looked at the hole. Yeah, it's there, it's out, doesn't bleed. I said, how in the world did you do this? He says, imagine you have a bucket of marbles, glass marbles, and you push your fist in to get to the bottom, all the marbles break. But if you wiggle your hand into it, you reach the bottom of the marble box and nothing is broken. I do the same thing with the magnetism in my body. I just get the cells go to the side while I push the needle in there. And that's why there is no damage done when they pull it out. That's why if a surgeon, after you have an accident, broken leg, whatever, can cut you because he knows how to not cut major vessels and put you back together. And it's all natural. And the strange thing is, the first 3 sessions, they fight me like crazy. You wouldn't believe, I'm the very first session, they like me. Then 3 sessions, they hate me. They plan to kill me, whatever. And after the 9th, 10th sessions, we become friends. And when we leave, we are friends. But to me, as I know, the only one out there that doesn't care to insult them, hurt them, step on them, and step on them again, and then jump on them emotionally, mentally, until they get out of this phase of dying, of the self-pity party, until they get back to say, that's it. Okay, I'm absolutely not dying. Why should I? And why does this doctor tell me, dares to tell me I have 6 months, 3 months to live? How does he know? Is he God? Next time I walk in there, I believe he's God.
Exactly. Well, something I tell people is they say, Paul, my doctor told me I had 6 months to live. What should I do? I said, find a new doctor. Because the only thing, listen, folks, there's no medical test with all of technology in the world that can accurately, correctly tell a person how long they have to live. So any doctor that's telling you this, they're doing it based on their track record. Every person they've treated in your situation has only survived 6 months. That's how they're coming up with that number. And that's not a good track record. You want to go to a doctor that says you have 50 years to live, not 6 months. There's no test to say that. So, it's the training when people say, "Doc, how long do I have?" And a doctor has to give an answer, and they're gonna look at all the people they've trained or dealt with this situation. And what Dr. Coldwell is saying here is the most important aspect is there because we gotta think the mind, the preconditioning of stop making a doctor God and actually listening to God who designed your body, and also, use what he gave you. He gave you the food, he told you how to use it, he gave you the time to rest, he told you when to take it, and he told you what not to believe. And people are sick because they're doing the opposite of all these different things. And everything I'm saying right now 20 years ago, I learned a lot of these things from Dr. Coldwell because when I was researching and learning and young in this walk, I saw his information and I have personally experienced in my own healing, but also other people. Your mind matters, and stop believing the medical community. Continue, Dr. Caldwell.
I call them medical voodoo priests.
Yes, that's a good one. It's a good one, and the voodoo the voodoo priest, and then they got their spells and their potions, and that's what their so-called medicine is, their pharmakia, which,
Yeah.
by the way, the Bible says to stay away from, and then they got I call it drug insurance. I don't call it health insurance because it doesn't pay for health, it pays for drugs. And, people need to, uh, figure this out and wake up, and, you know the answer, you know this. Now the challenge you're having is not only from the people's brainwashing and their thinking, how they've been brainwashed by the medical community, but with the success rate that you're having in helping people get better, where how have the professionals come down on you in terms of trying to stop you from getting this message out? Have you have threats on your life, and like how far has it gotten over the years to that degree?
I mean, I had 9 attempts on my life that we know of. My lawyers think there were much more that didn't work, and that's why I didn't know. But I've been shot. I still have a bullet in my body, by the way. But the the main thing is cutting you off of everything. That means you have no access. Back then, there was no internet, Paul. As you know, when we started out, there was no internet, so it was word of mouth and the daily newspaper. So I'm on front page. 16 armed police officers raided Dr. Coldwell's clinic. It was for an oxygen chamber that was licensed, installed by the company who built it. And that's where the raid are from, but front page. So, and people are saying, oh yeah, your clinic got raided, didn't it? It didn't even know what we were talking about because we were front page. And nobody says 6 weeks later, oh no, it was all fine. It was unlicensed. It's super, it's just oxygen. And no, that was kind of like they cut me off everywhere. I couldn't put ads in the newspapers back then, 30, 40 years ago. Uh, I called my clinics modern therapy centers of Europe. And so they came over me, sued me for, oh, we doctors, we are not modern. And you wouldn't believe the stuff they did to me. Then the daily threats. My staff got so upset with the threats all of a sudden that they said, listen, guy, stop calling, you're going to kill us. Come over now that we can deal with you right now. So my staff even didn't react anymore to that because it's absurd what's going on. Then the newspapers, then it started. I'm on TV, live on TV, with 2 medical doctors and 2 medical professors. And after all the stupid stuff they told me, why theoretically it doesn't work what I say, I said I have 13 of my cured cancer patients with their documentation from a government hospital underneath their arm here. Do I want to talk to them? And they, of course, they are completely flustered. And then I said, listen, my cancer patients are still alive. Why yours? And then they cut me off. They dragged me off. 2 people came, lifted me up out of my chair and dragged me out. And they said, oh, we go to advertisement. And then they canceled. I had a health seminar. They canceled the room for me, acting like it's me. I'm not coming. The room is canceled. We appear. All the people appear for the seminar, and they said, "No, Dr. Coldwell is not here. He canceled." And but this is like endless. Like our friend, Seed of Deception book. I forgot his name right now. They did the same thing to him. They even forbid him to talk in churches for free. And so, but basically, it's like trying to get me on stage, and I had to go with um, bodyguards and others kind of absurdities for no reason. I was always one of the keynote speakers at the Health Freedom Expo. That's where they have the easiest access to you, where they try to step me twice. What they forget is I was 9 years in a row world champion for full contact mixed martial arts. And when I was 17, the Amsterdam Post called me the most dangerous man alive. So stabbing me to death is not really a good try. But the thing is, I got more and more fun out of it. First, I was worried, then I got scared. And then they made a huge mistake and involved my family. And out of legal reasons, I don't want to tell you what I did to stop that, but I stopped it. Because if you deal with me, fine, it's a fair fight. You deal with my brother, my sister, my mom, you better not.
Yeah. Huh. Well, amazing stuff. If people want to find the latest information of what you're doing, get your books and everything, what's the main website they can go to? And with 100 and something books that you have, uh, if people want to get, is there one book that like ties everything together, or is each book geared towards a specific illness? So I guess it's two questions. One, what's your main website where people can find all your social media and everything else? And then if people want to get one or two of your books of the hundreds, which ones would you recommend?
So since we had a huge major hacking attack, one of hundreds last month, we rebuilt a new site, and the site is Doctor spelled out Leonard Coldwell. Coldwell with an O. drleonardcoldwell.com. And I'm still on drleonardcoldwell.com, but this was a site that damaged the most. It will take a lot to get there. But drleonardcoldwell.com is the main thing. And my books are, for example, my book, How to Survive Your Illness and Your Doctor, is a mega successful book. Interestingly enough, most of the books I wrote are on the market for 10, 30 years partially, but I'm going to write a couple of new books that's coming out in 2 months. But the only cancer patient cure is a summary of 50 years of dealing with patients with autoimmune disease and people that, and you can get it easily for Dr. Leonard, Dr. C, drcdownloads.com. So drcdownloads.com, then you have it right away. So the only cancer patient cure is a book. It's kind of like a summary of 50 years of my life experiences and my successes. drleonardcoldwell.com is the best to go. And if you want to have the app, it's getdrcapp.com. Sign up there, and I'm going to send you the info that you can get in there, Paul. But otherwise, we are not really selling anything. The Cancer Patient Advocate Foundation doesn't take outside donations. I finance it myself. And we're going to do a lot since, I mean, I don't trust any politician just in general, but since we have Bobby Kennedy there, we at least have a little bit of hope. I don't really think they will change a lot, but we need to try. What else do? We never give up, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Everybody, I'm going to put Dr. Coldwell's link below. So much information, and please, soak this in, everybody, because there are people that are giving information like this that they suppress the information out there, and it's getting harder and harder to find. So get it while you can, and believe it and trust it. Dr. Coldwell, after all these years, it's great to reconnect with you. I look forward to more interviews with you on specific topics, but thank you for taking the time to come and join me.
Always, Paul, and I'm going to see you in June.
Yes, we're going to have a wonderful time. Thank you. All right, everybody. Links are below. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody, and a great world life.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show.